Hi guys, Merlin here, bringing you another Age of Sigmar unboxing. A very merry unboxing day to you, and that's what I'm here to do, unbox a brand new set for Age of Sigmar, and it's for possibly one of my favourite dead factions. We've got the brand new Flesh Eater Courts box to look through. This was a little bit of a late Christmas present to myself. But yeah, we've got all the cool brand new stuff. So we've got the Abhorrent Gore Warden, the Crypt Guard, the Morbeg Knights, and the Vargolf Courtier. Getting confused. And we've got, of course, the book, War Scroll cards, and tokens. So, big thank you to Bridge Troll Hobbies who managed to grab me a copy of this box set and even allowed me to take it a little bit early for Christmas, which is nice. So big thank you to them, and a big thank you to all my supporters, everyone who likes and comments on my videos. Big thumbs up to you guys. Going into the new year, we've got quite a lot of good content coming. As I previously mentioned, there's going to be a shake-up on my Patreon. I'm going to try and streamline things. I think I've got way too much at the moment and I'm not creating enough content there. There will be possibly future videos mostly focused on painting will be going onto my Patreon. I will try to keep all my unboxings on YouTube, but anything people are specifically wanting, I'll probably be putting on my Patreon just to get a bit of traffic through that. Excuse me. So yeah, right. Let's jump over to the table and unbox this rather chunky set. So here we are then with the brand new Flesh Eater Courts army set. So this is the last big release for Age of Sigmar, well, outside of the fourth Dawnbringer book. There's going to be a lot of new undeath stuff coming in that, and we're looking at a brand new edition sometime next year, with rumours pursuing that it will be, again, sadly, Stormcast on the good guy side, but excitedly for me, Skaven on the villain side. So yeah, my rumour that I thought about back along of them going back to Order versus Chaos seems to be true, providing, of course, that rumour comes to fruition. But yeah, looking forward to Age of Sigmar 4th edition. Might actually get round to playing this edition. Various other things got in the way of getting armies ready, but this is pretty much all I need to finish off my Flesh Eater Courts. I'll be able to figure out what I have in the way of points once I open this up and look through the book. So speaking of opening up, let's flip her over. And on the back, we've got beautiful shot of everything we get. So 25 models, 10 of the new Crypt Guard. So you can build 20 even of the new Crypt Guard. So you can build 10 with swords plus full command and 10 with the halberds plus full command. We get the beautiful new Abhorrent Gore Warden there. The awesome new Morbeg Knights. Can't wait for them to come out separately. I'm going to definitely pick up a couple more boxes of them. And the awesome Vargolf Courtier, which a lot of people said it doesn't look right, but I think it fits the Flesh Eater Courts a lot better than the original model, which was a bit more wolf-like and fitted with the vampire counts of fantasy much better. This guy, however, looks a lot more like a Flesh Eater Courts creature. Definitely going to fit into the army a lot better. And for me, it reminds me of the future predators from the old ITV series Primeval, which was a brilliant sci-fi series where there was fissures in time, where creatures from the past and the future were being able to come through into the present. And one of the big bads was the future predator, bat-like creatures who saw by echolocation. They were blind, so they had no other way of looking. And yeah, this guy really does look like them, but he does have eyes. And otherwise, as models, we also get the 88-page special edition version of their battle tome, 27 war scroll cards for all the units, 33 enhancement cards for, well, and enhancing our army, and a token sheet with all the awesome tokens that we need to play. Right, so before we open this, what we're going to do, we'll do 3 parts of the video. We'll do the unboxing, close look at the frames, and then we'll look at the book before bringing it all in for the final thoughts. So here we go. Bring my knife in. Got a couple of tabs here we need to open, and then we can lift the lid. That's just beautiful. Well, gory, but beautiful. So everything's a little higgledy-piggledy because it's been shook about, but everything looks in good condition. So we got one part of the frames for the Morbeg Knights there. We got our 2 new characters, so the Vargolf Courtier and the Abhorrent Gore Warden. He looks fantastic. Can't wait to paint this guy. I do love a lot of the Flesh Eater Courts characters. They're really cool. And the methods I've learnt on how to paint them, it's going to be pretty fun to do. So I'm going to be using the guide from the Mortal Realms Premium Kit 1, which I think is a pretty good guide. Gets you a basic sort of colour scheme for the basic Flesh Eater Courts colour, which is pretty cool. Then we've got the other 2 frames of the Morbeg Knights, so loads of details on these frames. We'll take a close look in just a sec. And then we got 2 duplicate frames of the new Crypt Guard. I was always hoping that we would get a new infantry unit with actual weapons as opposed to just grizzly claws. And yeah, this is pretty much everything I thought they would be, and more. Then we have the generic Warhammer banner. I really wish they did the art print still, because they were fun to collect. I have quite a few on my wall. Random base. There's our book and instructions. And then we got our dividers. We do have some pretty cool artwork there. That is suitably gruesome. And yeah, so we got the bases for the Morbeg Knights, if I can pick them up. There we go, 3 of those. We got our enhancement cards there. So we got what he thinks he looks like and what he actually looks like. Kind of a warning for people on dating sites there. And then we got our War Scroll cards. So not the biggest faction, but it's nice we've got some new expanded characters. There's some new ones that haven't come out yet as well, which we'll look at when we get through the book. 40mm base in for the Gore Warden. 25mm bases for our Crypt Guard. And finally our big base, oval base, for the Vargolf Courtier. So yeah, right, let's put that back in. So part 1, let's take a look at those frames in close-up detail. So we'll start things off with our brand new character, the Gore Warden, and yeah, he looks fantastic. So these are the gatekeepers to the Abhorrent Archregent's grounds. They still carry the keys that they used to carry in life to guard the entranceways into the crypts. And yeah, he's a really grisly character. He's got a ruffle there made out of rib bones. He's got top part of his head there and the rest of his ruffle. So we got his leg there, we got the zombie on the base head there. Other leg, his beautiful wings that stretch out quite nicely. Some lovely sharp edges there, so they'll be a joy to edge highlight. You got the base details, so we've got this cadaver here, a couple of skulls, and plenty of ropes. Yeah, kind of hard to see where the rest of his mouth is. I'm sure it'll be there somewhere. But yeah, looking good. Ah, there, half of it is at least. Nope, that's the whole of it. Right there on the end there. So that's where his mouth is. Belt there, around his waist. Clawed arms. Yeah, he looks fantastic. I just love the whole Flesh-Eater Court's delusion that they are royal knights out on crusade. They have lands that need to be kept and such, but really they are just cannibalistic ghouls caused to suffer a endless undeath. So the other character slash monster we get then is the new Vargul Courtier, and as I said, he really does fit the Flesh-Eater Courts now a lot better than he did. We have the head there, 2 halves. You know, his back and 1 leg there, other leg, the rest of his back's there. Beautiful base detail with plenty of skulls and femurs there. His arms with giant flesh-ripping claws there. Yeah, this guy's going to be fun to build and to paint. Possibly thinking of leaving him off his base. I will see what I can do in the build process. But yeah, looking really good there. Alright, moving on, let's take a look at the brand new infantry. So we get 2 copies of this brand new frame and it's fantastic. So there's good variety here. Every guy can be built in 2 different ways. So first off, we have 2 different weapons. You can either have a standard sword or you can have a great big rusty halberd there. Each model can then be personalised with a choice of 2 heads. There are specific neck joints. There's ones that are sort of a dome, and there's ones that have more of a triangular sort of fitting. So I'm going to try during the build process, but I'm going to guess that you could easily mix and match heads as long as you make sure you match up the proper neck fittings. So you can get a good choice there. We also have choices for command. So we get a drummer who has 2 heads on sticks with hair still attached that he's beating onto this rather tatty looking drum. And we also have, for the first time in Flesh-Eater Court's history, a banner bearer who is literally just waving around a pole with somebody's flayed skin on. But yeah, so we get 10 halberds, 10 sword arms, and tons of head options. We also get, for the first time, I believe, we get some female-esque torsos. The banner bearer at least has very saggy breasts, at least. So they're not the most nicest of models, but still a lot more decent than the Witch Elves and Slaanesh. But yeah, this kit looks fantastic. We've got the champion there chewing on an arm. I've also got a nice helmeted head there where he's actually wearing a head on top of his helmet. Yeah, I just love the whole aesthetic of these guys. Plus they're fairly easy to paint as well, as I mentioned. My method is literally just spray them white, wash them a camo green, dry brush again white, and then glaze over the backs with a Aphonian Camo Shade to darken up the spinal area. But yeah, this kit is fantastic. Loads of heads. You can really personalize your entire army. And like I said, we get 2 copies of that sprue. Here's the second. Exactly identical, so you can build if you wanted to. 20 with halberds and 20 with swords, or as I'm probably going to do, 10 of each, as the box says. Finally then, let's take a look at those brand new Morbeg Knights. So one thing Flesh Eater Courts have lacked is a dedicated cavalry unit. We was always told our cavalry were the larger creatures, the crypt horrors, etc. But yeah, those are now more sort of foot knights, I'd say. We'll have a look once we get through the book. So we got 3 frames here, 2 are still attached. So we'll look at the separate one first. And this one is full of the heads. So I believe each knight has 2 different head options. We have a hornblower there as well. We got different shield designs. We got either the tower shield or a roundel shield there. We got the different halves of the torsos there. Riders again have a variety of different head options, which look like you might be able to use them on the crypt guard there. I'll have to have a mess around, but yeah, they look pretty cool. Got some grizzly totems there. We got another guy wearing a head on a helmet. Very Lord of the Rings-esque, that, from Gothmog's Enforcer, who used to have a human head on top of his helmet. But yeah, spear there for the rider. Really cool. And then we got the other frame here for them, and we got the other bodies there, plus the winged arms. We got a skeleton there, that's part of the banner, I believe. We got the actual banner there, which is again a flayed skin, made out of a many-armed creature by the looks of things, or 2 single-armed creatures sort of glued together. Again, we got a tower shield or roundel shield, whichever you prefer. We got the reins, so they're holding onto their mounts there. That's pretty cool, nice detail. Loads of nice base detail as well, as they're charging over the ruins of their kingdom. And we flip over and see the other detail. So the shields have space to put some extra detail on, which is pretty cool. So yeah, loads and loads of extra detail bits to glue on. So spears for your generic riders. So you can build up a command and then build, if you wanted to, 6 generic riders, or 3 generic riders, shall I say. Yeah, these guys are definitely going to be fun to build. Right then, let's have a quick flick through the instructions and the army book. Then we'll go into my final thoughts for the set. So here we have the beautiful limited edition Flesh Eater Courts book. We have gold edged pages there. And yeah, beautiful gruesome visage on the front with gold print for the Age of Sigmar symbol and the Flesh Eater Courts title at the bottom. Right, I've already slit this open, so we can just peel away the plastic. So first off then, we'll take a look at our building instructions for our models. So we got our different base size, so 90mm oval, 75mm oval, 40mm and 25mm there. We got breakdown of our frames, so A, B, C and D there. And again, a list of all the bases. So you should have 190, 375, 140 and 20 25mm. So we'll have variant assemblies throughout the kit, so pay close attention. So first off, we build our Gore Warden, so that's pretty cool. We build the main Gore Warden himself first, and then we glue him down to the brilliant base detail there, which gets glued to the base. But yeah, he's going to be fantastic as a nice army leader. Then we got our Vargolf, so we want to build one half of the body first, then build the other half glue them together, then start adding on the arms. Then we can glue on the mane and the heads before gluing him down to his base alongside the rocks. So yeah, it looks like you might be okay to get around to reaching a lot of the detail for painting him, so I might glue him all down to his base, but he does look fantastic, as I've mentioned before. And then we got our crypt guard. So we've got choice of heads, A and B. I believe there has been an incorrect printing somewhere that I think it details head A's going on to body connection point B's. So pay close attention when building your model. There are two different neck types, as I previously mentioned. Ones that are sort of a bowl and ones that are sort of a teardrop shape, I guess is the best way, with a pointed top. So our first option is to build either a champion or generic crypt guard, and a generic crypt guard with a choice of heads there. So yeah, for your champion, you got a choice of either the halberd or the sword arm there. You build the body just in one set way. Then we got the choice of options for our crypt guard there to have either hand weapon or a halberd. And yeah, some extra details to help identify your champion. You can give them an extra hook in the hand there, or else a bare arm there if you want. Then we got the choice to build either a musician or generic crypt guard. So a musician uses specific components there, the drum and the head drumsticks there. Then our crypt guard himself just has a choice of two arms for the sword, or else the paired arms there for the halberd. Finally then, we can build either the standard bearer there or a generic crypt guard. So yeah, pretty cool. Then after that, we are just building generic crypt guards, and the choice is either the sword or the halberd. So, like I said, I'm probably going to build 10 of each just to try them out, and eventually I might get some more and build another 10 to add to each unit. But yeah, there we have it. We get some really cool details. So yeah. And then you end up with 20 there, and they look suitably gruesome. Finally then, we're building our Morbeg Knights. So we got 3 helms that go onto connection point A, and 5 helms that go to connection point B. We got the different heads for the actual Morbeg, the actual knights themselves, the beasts, should I say, not the knights. And yeah, we just build them up. Pretty cool. The heads are even on a ball joint, so you can get them looking one way or the other, which is pretty nice. So yeah, once you build up each of the individual mounts, we can then glue on the riders. Depending on how you want to prime the actual models, you might want to leave the riders separate so that you can prime them one color and then prime the mounts a different color. Yeah, I do like the heads. There's a very troll-like visage head there. There's a bat-like head there. And yeah, lots of cool options. Even a head there chewing an arm. And on the back we got the final assembly there. So we've got the choice of the musician or a regular knight. And if we go back a page, we got the choice of a banner bearer or the champion or regular knights. So yeah, it looks like the command units have the tower shields and the regular knights have the round shields, but you can probably freely mix and match the components as they all have the same arm and connecting points. So if you want to have one unit with all tower shields and one unit with all round shields, there's nothing really stopping you. Right then, let's take a flick through the actual army book. So This is the first chance you'll get to own this army book. It's pretty common knowledge, the contents at the moment. There's been a lot of people reviewing it online, but I've been a bit late to the party. So yeah, let's take a flick through. So we got a beautiful bit of text here detailing a call to come to the noble court and have a beautiful meal with the royalty. Beautiful army shot there with Usheron, the brand new big guy, who will be available in the next wave of the Dawnbringer books, book 4. One set is going to be, I don't know if it's Usheron and some units or if it's just Usheron on his own, because he is a pretty chunky model. But yeah, that's got to be about the same size as Corandus. So we're looking at 150mm base. Crondis even, not Corandus. Crondis, Son of Dracovian, which I still need to build. But yeah, beautiful size base, beautiful model. Really, he's going to be an awesome centerpiece of the army. We also have an Executioner, a Judge, which is some of the new characters, which are pretty cool. Really fleshes out the variety we get. So there used to be only about 1 or 2 different characters we could really take. So they got breakdown on the background of the Cannibal Kingdoms there. We see here a abhorrent Archregent looking at the mirror, seeing himself as a rather distinguished gentleman, but he's actually a dribbling, slavering monster. So yeah. Bit of background about the Carrion King. So this is a tale of Usheron, who was originally the Mortarch of Delusion, until he fell to the sanity of what he was the Mortarch of, the Delusion, and he's now the king of the Flesh Eater Courts. So we have the Empire of Delusion, and we've got another beautiful picture here of a Archregent on a throne being attended by his courtiers, and even perhaps having a nice lovely feast there. Different background here for the ghoulish domains and the different kingdoms, and again the full kingdom. So very reminiscent of how, I know this is going to cause a lot of tension, but very reminiscent of Bretonia, where it was similar sort of map with each of the different kingdoms. So you got the country of Gravemere, the land of the Crimson Mavens, Northern Bloodlands, Summerkeep, the King's Faithful, the Huntsman of Kerudor, Principality of Korheim, Knights of the Brimming Font, the Gravenfang Court, the Lords of Bleak Cape, the Court of the Solar Queen, the House of Goroth, and penultima, the Kingdom of Shades. So yeah, lovely, fantastic little area. Then we got the chronicles of, well, the background, the timeline, sort of, the royal household, how it breaks down, and then we're into our grand courts. So Morgant, which I believe is the basic sort of court, which is how I'll be painting mine, Hollowmorn, Blisterkin, Gristlegore, and then of course we've got Usheron himself there as well. Sovereigns and Archregents, Grand Justice, Marrow Scroll Heralds, Abhorrent Cardinals, Abhorrent Gore Wardens. The Grisly Court, so your Cryptghast Courtiers, Crypt Haunter Courtiers, Crypt Infernal Courtiers, Vargolf Courtiers. And then we got the Champions of the King, so Cryptguard and Morbeg Knights. Then we got the Cannibal Throngs, so your Crypt Ghouls, Crypt Horrors, Crypt Flayers, Royal Beast Flayers. And then we're into our army showcase. So we've got a Marrow Scroll Herald there from one of the earlier Dawnbringer box sets. I think there's still one of those available at my local shop, which I might pick up some point soon, depending on how many more actual Crypt Horrors I need. I might wait for him to come out on his own, though, if I have a use for him. The Abhorrent Archregent, which of course I have from Premium Kit 1. Yeah, you got wonderful army shot there, facing off against a rather slashly coloured pink and white Lumineth Realm Lords there. Again, we got another shot of Usharon and some of the details. So I loved the detail, the description they gave. He's a majestic lord with a regal cape decorated with baubles and inlaid of gold. It's actually just skulls and decapitated heads. Gruesome. I just love it. We got some of the other new courts. So the Grand Justice Gormain, who has a wig made out of intestines. Very nice and regal. The Abhorrent Cardinal, who's a sort of a religious leader. And we got the Royal Decapitator, who's an executioner type character. Pretty cool. Lovely new models. Can't wait for them to come out. Then we got a Crypt Flare from Hollowmourne, which, yeah, that's the colour scheme I'm going for. So that's my Greater Court, Hollowmourne. Then we got an Abhorrent Gore Warden there as well. So we got Blisterkin there, who have a more pale flesh with blistering red sort of highlights. Gristlegore Cryptguard, which are very similar to Usharon, with a more blue-grey sort of colour skin. Again, Hollowmourne Cryptguard there with their pale green. Morgant Cryptguard there, who has a very pale white sort of skin with blood red accents there. Morbeg Knights there, looking pretty cool. Can't wait to get these guys done. Then we got a Hosts of the Morgaunt. So Cryptguard and the Abhorrent Cardinal, Abhorrent Archregent, Morbeg Knights. So we got a beautiful dark coloured Morbeg Knight there, matching, contrasting nicely with the rider in that pale white. And yeah, there we have beautiful Host of the Morgaunt up against some Stormcast. Looking really gruesome. We've got the Royal Flay Master and the Beast Flayers, plus their Offal Hounds. The new Vargolf Courtier there. Some more pictures there of different units. So we got the Cardinal leading Cryptguard against some Orcs. The Grand Justice and his attendants. And there we have a beautiful, pretty much full army shot. Everything that you can take in the range in one picture. Terrorgeist, Zombie Dragon, all the different levels of Regent, all the different units, so Crypt Guards, Crypt Flayers, Crypt Horrors. Yeah, beautiful shot. Facing off against the Cities of Sigmar there with Talia Fedra. And one thing I do love about the Age of Sigmar books is we have paint guides on how to paint all your different courts. So how they paint the Hollowmourne, spray with grey sear, base coat of iron rack skin, then shade over Grift Charger Grey. Depending on how heavily you put the paint on, you will need to relayer iron rack skin, then highlight Deepkin flesh. We're picking out some different details to the hair, bone details, adding some mottling to the skin. How to paint the Blisterkin, go from White Scar, layer Carrack Stone, Agrax Earthshade Alarming Medium, thin down, then relayer Carrack Stone, and finally a highlight of Flame and Flesh before adding the gory details there. The Morgant Grand Court there, so again a rather pale sort of colour scheme with a more purpley red detail. Then we got the Gristlegore, which are a nice dark grey sort of colour scheme, which I kind of like. It's definitely going to use that guide for how I paint my Usharon. Then we got a couple of alternative colour schemes. So we've got a rather dark brown one here, and we got a bruised lighter skin tone there. So we've got purples and whites again there being mixed in. Then we got details on how to paint the red wings, purple wings, Vargolf fur, and all the different bones and relics. How to do bruised flesh, lightly flayed flesh, fine embroidered mantles or rotten flesh, fresh meat, glorious knightly arms or rusted blades, tarnished weapons, brass armor details, gold armor details, depending on how flashy you want your court to look. And yeah, there we have it. So next we move on to the actual army list. So first off, it's how to build your army. So choose a battle pack, either Contest of Generals or Path of Glory from the main book, or one of the pitched battles from the General's Handbook. Choose your sub-faction, so one of the 4 Grand Courts, so I'll be Hollowmorn. Then you pick your units, and we have a pitched battle profile, so all your points and stuff, and then you got your war scrolls. And then flesh out with battalions, enhancements, etc. to finish off your army. So, allegiance abilities, battle traits for, so you got your Grand Courts, your Deathless Courtiers, Noble Deeds, the Courts of Delusion there as well. The different delusions we can take, Undead Monstrosities. So, command traits for royalty and nobility, artifacts of power for abhorrent heroes and courtier heroes, spell lore for our Flesh Eater Court wizards, so we've actually got a wizard now. Well, most of them were wizards. Usually the abhorrent Archregent, I think, used to be level 2. We've got prayers, mount traits for different types of mounts we can take, so zombie dragons or terrorgeists. And we've got the rules for the Grand Courts. So let's just take a look at what the Hollowmorn Grand Court gives. So, Grizzly Cavaliers. The elite of Hollowmorn's army see themselves as bold warriors astride snorting destriers and other noble beasts. Though this is far from the awful reality, their devastating charges are still famous among Usharon's followers for the carnage they cause. So we add 1 to damage characteristics of melee weapons by friendly Hollowmorn Knights units that have made a charge move. This ability has no effect on attacks by mounts though. So yeah, we get +1 damage for charging, which is pretty good, as long as we of course are a knightly unit. But yeah, each different faction has their own little rule, which is pretty cool. Then we got quests, so we pick our quests dependent on our Path to Glory, if we've chosen to take that. And it depends on what we want our force to achieve. Veteran abilities, different territories there. We have a unique battle plan, so Gargantuan Bounty, where we are attempting to take down a giant, literally. Then we got our detachments, so we got the Cannibal Court here, so we got all different War Scroll battalions. So the Royal Family is an Abhorrent Archregent, or Abhorrent Ghoul King on Royal Terrorgeist, or Abhorrent Ghoul King on Zombie Dragon. 2 to 6 Abhorrent Ghoul Kings, or Abhorrent Cardinals in any combination. Attendants of the Court, so Crit Haunter Courtier, 2 Crit Horror units. Yeah, each one's pretty cool. Then we got our grand strategies and battle tactics there. And we're moving on to our war scrolls. So as we are a death faction, we do have access to the big bad Undeath himself, Nagash there, Supreme Lord of the Undead. So I might pick him up. He's a pretty cool character. It'd be nice to paint at least. But yeah, I think my main centerpiece model is going to be Usharon here. So fantastic, beautiful model. And I'm sure he's got awesome rules to match. I'll have to have a proper read through this at some point. So we got an Abhorrent Ghoul King on Terrorgeist or on Zombie Dragon. I loved painting my old Terrorgeist from my Vampire Counts army. So I definitely want to get a Terrorgeist at some point. Pity the old Start Collecting boxes sold out. Hopefully the new one might include one of the kit that can make either of those two, which would be pretty cool. So we got our Grand Justice Gormain there, who is our priest, I believe. Nope, he's not. He is just a hero. So yeah, we got our wizards here in the form of the Gore Warden and Archregent, the Abhorrent Ghoul King there. There's our priest, the Abhorrent Cardinal. We got the Mordant Herald here, the Marrow Scroll Herald, and the Royal Decapitator there as well, who, yeah, definitely wouldn't mind getting him. So we've got Cryptghast Courtier, Vargolf Courtier, Crypt Infernal Courtier, Crypt Haunter Courtier. I believe the Crypt Haunter Courtier is the only one I haven't actually built a model for yet. So need to get at least one more unit of the Crypt Flayers to make him, plus 2 more regular Crypt Flayers. Then we're on to our basic units. So we got the Crypt Guard there, the Morbeg Knights. We got our Crypt Flayers still, our Crypt Horrors, our Crypt Ghouls, Royal Beast Flayers. Then we can take a Royal Terrorgeist or a Royal Zombie Dragon just as a beast monster there. So that's pretty cool. And then we got our Endless Spells and our Terrain. So, and points at the back there. That's pretty much it for the book. Right. Final part then. I'll bring it all in and I'll give you my final thoughts. So there we have the Flesh Eater Courts army set, and yeah, it's brilliant set of all brand new models. Fantastically updated Vargolf model. Like I said, the original one was more of a sort of wolfy type beast. It had a long snout. This one definitely fits the Flesh Eater Courts a lot better than the old one did, which looked more akin to the Soul Black Gravelords. It'd really fit in with them if they could take them still. But yeah, this one definitely fits the whole range. That looks fantastic. The new Abhorrent Ghoul Warden looks fantastic. Beautiful model. Those wings are going to be a joy to paint. The new infantry, they're going to be fun to build as well. Fiddly, I've heard, but I'm going to take my time and build 10 at a time. Then we've got those awesome new Morbeg Knights. I can't wait to do those. I might have to do them before I do the infantry. Or maybe I'll do the 2 characters first, get all the infantry done, and then treat myself to the knights at the end. Other than that, you do, of course, get the instructions to build everything, the War Scroll cards, the enhancement cards, nice, handy, useful items for in-game, which are brilliant. We get, of course, the limited edition book there. Fantastic. It's a brilliant tome. Love the detail on the front. Nice gold detail. We get a nice bookmark as well if you want to save your favourite page. I will probably keep it just at the start of the War Scroll cards, War Scrolls area, though I will have the cards, of course. So I might keep the cards out for the War Scrolls I'm using at a time and save the bookmark for holding out the main army rules, etc. The book itself is brilliant, as I said, loads of detail. I love the paint guides. That's one thing I'm really enjoying about their new books. They're going back to the old days where they used to have a little bit of a hobby section just in the middle of the book, teaching you how to either paint certain colour schemes. Some of the older 40k books even had sections where you could convert characters out of certain models. I know the Witch Hunters and Demon Hunters codexes had lovely detailed sections on how to make inquisitorial henchmen and inquisitors. Those are fantastic books, love them. But yeah, the Age of Sigmar books are fantastic. Even the 40k ones are now including the paint guide section for the combat patrol to do with the army, which is their starting box. Really good. I love hobby sections in books. It really does give you a bit more for your buck, especially with one of the smaller armies, which these guys are. Still, it's nice they fleshed it out with some awesome new units, new infantry, new cavalry, and of course characters. Haven't opened the War Scroll cards and stuff at the moment, as we've just gone through the book, so we'll go through those on my own. I will do a follow-up video though once I've built everything. If you would like to see a paint video, let me know and I will show you how I paint up, say, a generic infantry, maybe even some of the characters. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do follow-up videos, and let me know if you want to see any others. Also, let me know in the comment section what you thought of this set. Have you picked it up yourself? Are you a Flesh Eater Courts fan, much like myself, or do you have a fondness for a different army? Still, for me, though, my favourite army of all has to be the Skaven. I just love their wacky inventions and the chance that they are going to do more damage to themselves than they are to the enemy. But yeah, I think for a close second, the Flesh Eater Courts are definitely one of my top army picks. I love the whole delusional thing. They think they're better than they actually are. It's so fun. I love them. They're very characterful. Price then finally is the set, if you can still find it on the website, was £120. I picked up from my local hobby store, Bridge Troll Hobbies, where I paid £108 for it. So yeah, nice bit of discount there for a wonderful set. Well worth it, I think. The Morbeg Knights are probably going to be 35 to 40 on their own. The Vargolf Courtier 25. The Borant Regent possibly 25 as well. They're both fairly big models. And these guys, you can bet they'll be in a box just of 10 on their own. And you're probably going to be looking at, I'd probably say 30 to 35 again for those, for a box of 10. Then, of course, your book will cost you, again, about 35. Plus, you do get the cards and stuff which are exclusive to the set. But, yeah, very good value for your money. Great to start off if you haven't started Flesh Eater Courts already. I know quite a few people who have had multiples of this box, and if there's still one available, I may even pick up a second. But I'm saving my money for, firstly, Usharon, and secondly, Old World, which, as of today, the 26th of December, they have revealed the first 2 launch boxes, Bretonnians and Tomb Kings. I will do a separate video focusing on that. I don't want to take up too much time in this, but there are some awesome things on the way for the Old World, and I'm looking forward to next year already. So, there we have it. Final ratings for this. It's a great set. I can't give it less than 10 out of 10, I think. Maybe 9 out of 10. No, yeah, I got to give it 10 out of 10. It's beautiful. Everything is so exquisite, lovely detailed, awesome new models. Can't wait to build them and start playing, actually. So that's what I'm off to do now. So, as I said, let me know what you thought of the set and the video in the comment section down below. And I will see you for the follow-up video once I have built everything. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.